that him? Oh god.
No.
I don't like people looking. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today's video, as you guys see in the title, is a huge house update. We realized that we have not given an update on YouTube. We've been given a lot of updates on our home Instagram page. So if you're not following that yet, it's at home.sweet.james. I'll put it right here. Every time we come to the house, we always post a picture like right away and update everyone, you know, see how the house is looking and stuff like that. But definitely follow that page if you want like real updates compared to like YouTube and stuff like that.
In real time.
In real time, yeah. And this video will give you guys a huge update because last time we had an update, this is how the house looked. And that was on March 13th, and it is now, what's today's date? April
16th,
April 16th, a month ago, exactly. So much has happened since then. So like
1 month.
Yeah. So the next time we visited was March 19th, and I'll show a picture here. And this is when it kind of looked the same as when we showed you guys that last time, but it had like some pipes coming out.
We started setting up for the plumbing and stuff.
So which was exciting to see. We're like, all right, cool, we're getting somewhere. Baby steps. And then the next date was March 26th, which is a picture right here. So this picture, the whole foundation was like covered up. And I guess they used that to get ready to put like the cement, finish up the foundation.
Put the slab on top of the foundation.
Yeah, I don't know these terms or whatever. But yeah, this is basically how it looked. And then it also had some wood nearby. We're like, ooh, they're gonna finally start building up. Like, we was like so excited about that. And then so that was March 26th. Then on March 26th, we said we was not going to visit. Because we said we wasn't gonna visit for a long time because we googled to see like how long the cement has to like settle or whatever.
They let the foundation sit for like 14 days.
That's what we googled.
That's what they said. It said for like 14 days the foundation sits, and then I guess it's settled into the soil or whatever, and then that's when they start to put the slab down and start building up. Yeah,
so like we just didn't think they were gonna do the slab anytime soon, or if they did do the slab, like we just thought it had to like sit there for a while.
Mind you, we don't know what we're talking about. We're just assuming what we think that the real builders are doing.
This is what we see, okay? So like I said, that was March 26th. And then on March 31st, just a few days later, my dad texted me some pictures, and it was a freaking structure. Like, I was like, what? Oh my gosh, like we need to go this weekend. And we was not planning on visiting, and we were so excited when I seen those pictures. I was like, yo, we have a whole first floor. Like, the excitement is like ridiculous when you see like something actually happen.
Building vertically, going up.
Yes, versus just like bricks and dirt. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited. So that was March 31st. So then April 3rd, literally 3 days later, this is how our house looked. Two whole floors. We're just like, yo, they're really working. Like, oh my gosh, we're so excited. It's just so exciting to see something. Right now we're in the car. We're actually in front of the house. So we just, you know, wanted to film this video right in front of our house and, you know, feel all the vibes. So yeah, that was April 3rd, and we had 2 whole floors and everything. On April 6th, we came by and we saw they wrapped up the house, and we heard that they wrap up the house just so like water doesn't go in because they don't have windows yet.
They don't have the windows yet, they just wrap it up.
So the whole house was wrapped up, and then we saw like the shingles on top of the roof, so they were preparing for the roof. So just like, ooh, we can't wait to see our black roof, you know, looking all cute. So that was April 6th. April 9th, a couple days later, they had the whole roof up, whole roof done, like beautiful black. We were just like, wow, like that's amazing. So that was the last time we went, was April 9th. Well, that was the last time I posted on Instagram, April 9th. And then
that was the last real like drastic change. Now everything is gonna be it's like small.
Yeah, now it's like slowing down a little bit. So from April 9th and now it's April 16th. What changes has happened?
Well, last time we came, you could see like the tub and the shower that was just sitting inside of the garage. But I guess they didn't put that, they weren't gonna put that in until after they did the plumbing and had all that stuff set up. So that's gone. So I'm assuming that I'm assuming that the shower and the tub is in, right?
Upstairs, probably. Yeah. Last time we visited, what was it, April 9th? We actually snuck inside. Oh my god, I don't want to get caught. Here's the garage. Oh wow, guys. So, there's dining room, living room. Oh, we got stairs. Stairs, kitchen, that's the island. Oh snap, hole for the fireplace. So we don't know if we should be doing that or what, but we just like, wait, let's peek because like the garage is open. So we like walked in there, like we see everything, like wow, okay, this is the living room, this is the kitchen, blah blah blah. We can actually see it because like what we got was like the model house, so it's easier to vision it, although it's really just sticks to a lot of people. But for us, like we actually see like a lot of progress.
What it's gonna turn into.
Yeah, what it's gonna turn into. When I was walking out, the builder or like
driving by,
he was like, I caught you. And I was like, oh man. But running into him was like super helpful. Like he gave us so much like updates on like what they're gonna be working on, like just on our house and like all the other houses around here. Kind
of like when you see the changes, like what's happening, it might be something small, but from talking to him, he kind of let us know like the order that they typically go in, build up the structure, and then they put the windows in. And when they put the windows in, that allows them for them to do the plumbing, the electrical, so that if it rains, that doesn't get inside the house and kind of messes up any of that stuff. Because of COVID, windows are like backed all the way up. So it takes, typically you could get windows when they order them, it would be like 3 to 4 weeks. But because of COVID, it's more like 12 to 14 weeks.
He said even 20 weeks.
It could be 20 weeks just to get the windows in. Because everything is just kind of backed up. Really just materials are really hard to come by right now. So what they decided to do is they wrapped the house up pretty well because they didn't have windows. So they wrapped it up and they're just basically gonna skip that step as far as putting windows in first. And they're gonna do the electrical, do the plumbing, and do all of those things that's internally, but with the house wrapped, or do as much as they can until the windows come in. But he did tell us that he ordered our windows as soon as we got the house under contract. So,
as soon as they got the permit, they ordered the windows. So that was in January.
That was like, January. He said on the timeline that saying that the windows takes 12 to 14 weeks, considering that he ordered the windows back in January, we should kind of right on schedule to get the windows maybe the next few weeks. Fingers crossed that we get the windows as soon as possible, because once you get the windows in,
then things start.
That's when things start rolling, because they can secure the property and go inside and do all the stuff that they need to do.
And one thing that we love about this whole process is like seeing other houses around us. So like there was houses that just had, you know, just a sign, like, but before ours, you know, before they started building ours. So like, you know, there's 2 houses across the street that basically look like ours, but they have a door.
They're a few steps ahead.
They're a few steps ahead. So like we know, all right, they're gonna give the windows first to them, and then
once we see them with windows, we know that we're not too far behind.
Exactly. So we know what to expect. And there's also another street that like they built that quick. Like once they got the windows, the next week they had the siding. They started painting. Saw the drywall and everything like that. Like
big difference.
It's a huge difference. Like it's like a real houses now, a whole street over there. And you know ours is, you know, up and coming. So it's next up. Pretty exciting. That's why it was really cool that we ran into him, so he let us know like you're not gonna notice a lot of changes just because the windows is backed up and stuff like that. And actually he even told us that, you know, a lot of these houses, the people who originally got in them, they backed out their contract because their closing date changed. Because of the windows. So with the windows situation, he told us wherever they get the windows from, their distribution was in California.
Yeah, like part of it was in California, and where the wildfires were. Yeah,
so that whole distribution center burnt down. And then the other distribution center was in Texas.
And it froze, basically.
Yeah, backed up from that. so then they only have one other distribution center, and that's why it's so backed up with all the windows. Because there's a lot of houses that's been here for a while that look like a real house, like no siding, but it just doesn't have windows. And it comes to like a halt, like it stops. And when we were riding around, we were wondering like, what happened with this house? Why are they not doing anything? Like, this house has been like this for a long time. And when we talked to him, he basically told us like, once you get to a certain point, you know, they can do as much as they can, but until they have the windows to like secure the house, they can't do all the other things that they need to do inside. So the windows is what was holding everybody, basically holding everybody back. Although he did say that for you know, everybody with the windows and stuff like that, he did. Is that him? Oh god. No. I don't like people looking. So like, since, you know, he knew that the windows were slowing everything down, and I guess they found out like right when we put it under contract. So they like ordered it right away because he knew already. So he didn't want to give us a day or anything like when he expects the windows. He's like, but I think he knows the day. He just didn't want to tell us. He was like, I got an idea about y'all. He knows it's probably gonna be soon, but he just didn't want to say anything. He didn't want to get our hopes up. Then Darius got a phone call. When was it? Last week? Yeah, last week. So the mortgage people called just to kind of get some more information. Wanted to start kind of getting the application rolling again. And when I was talking to the guy, I was like, so what does this mean, you know, that we're doing this right now? And he was like, typically when I start this conversation and we start handling this paperwork, that means that we're getting closer to a closing date. So if we get closer to a closing date, that means that they're probably ahead of schedule. Like he said, we're ahead of schedule, and then we ran into the guy, and then he was like the window situation. So like, we don't know like how ahead of schedule they are. Like, our potential closing date is July 14th. And, I mean, even before we like, you know, put the house on the contract and stuff like that, the guy said it could be like two weeks early or 2 weeks late. So the whole time we knew July, basically. Yeah, July 14th. Like we said in our first video, we was hoping that it'll be like July 7th was our wedding anniversary, and that's like exactly like a week before July 14th. So like, oh, that'll be so cool. But you know, that's what's going on. So another thing was like, we love that we're like near our house, so that was kind of a drive, but we love to see like, you know, making sure everything is, you know, right, just from like the outside of the structure and stuff like that. And I actually noticed a mistake. And Darius was just like, well, maybe they'll do that later. Yeah, she tries to think that she knows what they're doing. Like this is their profession, this is what they do, so I'm not gonna tell them how to do their job. It's not that, it's all about just like, it's important to ask questions, okay? That's all I'm saying. So like, you know, when they made the structure, right? So when last time we came, you know, they had the roof done, right? And I was like, okay, so I know what elevation we chose. And you know, elevations is basically like you choose the model, but then there's other how the front is gonna look. They had like, you know, one point, or one of them had like one point of the structure, or one of them had like a little window on top. You know, it was just different ones. And I was just like, oh, I like the 2 points. So they had, you know, a point for the roof on the top, and then they had a point at like the porch area where the door is at. And then the guy of the community, he also asked like if he wanted a point on top of the little windows. I like points, so I thought the more points, I thought the more points the better. It just looks nice. I like it, right? It's like so yeah, so when we see the house, you know, it has the point for the roof and it has the point over the little windows, and I was like, there's no point on top of the, you know, porch area. So, and then Darius just like, well, maybe they'll do that later, you know, you don't know how they work, you know, whatever. I was just like, I don't know, because they did the roof, and part of the roof, like the shingles should be on that point, because as we were driving around the neighborhood, like people who does have a point on their porch area, and I'm like, I don't know, like, so we hit up our realtor, Lance, and I was just like, hey, can you check with the guy of the community to just to double check if they're gonna do that point, or do they do it later, or did they forget or whatever. So he checked with him, and the guy was just like, oh yeah, they do that later or something like that, right? Listen to this. So, you know, Lance sent us a screenshot saying like what the guy said or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, so they're gonna do that later or whatever. And then a few days later, that's when we came by and ran into that builder guy, and he was like, yeah, so and so text me about the point. Like, he said, we're gonna get you a point up there soon. Yeah. He was like, yeah, my other guy, because I guess that guy that we ran into, he's like he's in charge of all of the different contractors that they have. Like, you know, he's basically like a boss of all the contractors, and like I guess he like gives the paperwork to that group of people who's building. And he's like, yeah, sometimes my guy misses small details, you know, the back of the paper, aka he forgot the point. So if I did not point that out, my point would not be there, you know. So like now I'll show a picture, like a video now of there's a structure now of the point. They just don't have the shingles on there yet, which I think they should just get out the way, you know. But you see, it's always important to ask questions and to keep updated.
That was good, because if we would have waited and waited and waited, then we would have got to the point where we about to close or about to do a walkthrough, and we like, hold on, this is how the front's supposed to look. It's supposed to have this point over here. Then that probably would have pushed back closing, because they would have had to do that. And then who knows?
But then you did not want me to ask.
I didn't, but I'm glad we did.
He was like,
I said you go do what you want to do.
No, you said I'm fine either way. Like the points is whatever, because I don't want it to push our closing date. And I'm just like, it's a little point. I'm sure they can do that easy. But just the fact that, you know, that we caught it and they did it, and you know, the fact that, you know, the guy tried to like cover it up, like, yeah, they do that later.
But the builder, he was like straight up.
Nah,
he's like, sometimes they don't read my notes sometimes. So he's like, but I'll get it up there. So they did it literally like the next day.
Yeah, so it's up there. It just doesn't have the shingles or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's basically the whole update. Like things have been going really fast, but I feel like now at this point things are gonna like slow down.
Once we see windows, that means that we are
at least 50%.
Is at least 50% now? 50%. No, I think windows will be 50%. But then once you get past that, then the interior stuff, because he told us about a house that's up the block that got held up because their kitchen, the cabinets that they wanted were, it was hard to get the cabinets. So the house was done, but the cabinets was holding everything back. And then that's the same house that he said that they did get the cabinets, but then their appliances was kind of held
2
back.
2 weeks late.
So they moved in. They were like, let's just move in and we'll get the appliances when we get them. So but it's just like, it just goes to show, for like, if you're interested in building a house now, or if you're in the middle of building a house now, it's like you got to expect the unexpected, because things can be expected to be delivered a certain day, and then out of nowhere it's like, it's backed up. Or anything. Can be lumber, it can be appliances, it can be the cabinets that you want. Anything can get held up, so you got to expect the unexpected.
And me and Darius talked about it, like if they say, oh, we don't have your appliances, like, but do y'all still want to move in? Yes, we want to move in. I will order takeout. I don't care. Like, I need to get into this house.
We'll move in. We'll figure it out.
I'll move it even if they don't have the cabinets in there, as long as I have. I'll put my bed. I don't care. I don't need cabinets. I want my own space.
I think we would be okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. You want to go inside? Yeah. Actually, looking from here, like, it seems like the plumbing is done. So like Darius said earlier in this video,
and electrical. See right there.
So last time we came here, the tub and the shower was inside the garage. So it's not in the garage anymore. So I'll say, I guess it's upstairs. I'm scared to go in there, but Darius is just like, whatever.
I mean, they work in there, so
I know.
It's fine.
It don't seem like anybody's here.
I'm not gonna be running and jumping. It's inside.
So y'all ready to go in? So we just came out the house, and I don't know, like, I guess it's just because of the 6, but it just seems a little bit smaller than the actual model, because, you know, we chose the model house, but like, what if they like make the model house like slightly bigger? Like, I don't know what the actual square footage, well, we know the square footage of the house, but what if the model is slightly bigger? I don't know.
I can see them doing it.
Well, then that should be like illegal or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But like I said, you don't have the windows in there, you don't have the walls up, you don't have like the drywall, and the natural light coming through, and natural light makes it bigger. Even having hard floors on the ground makes it look bigger.
It makes it look better.
Make a space bigger.
Yeah, but that's just like makes it feel bigger, but what about actual size bigger?
I'm just saying, you was in the model house. It feels bigger because it's decorated. Number one, it has all that natural light. It has the hardwood floors. So you can't compare that to sticks.
It's just it's just a thought. It just feels, you know, because we bought a lot of our furniture already. We bought like our couch and stuff, so like we want to make sure like
we based it all on measurements.
We didn't base it from the measurements from the model house, and then like, you know, but our dining table and stuff like that, which we'll talk later in another video. But I mean, what we talked about our dining table, if you've seen our West Elm shop with me video, then you know what table we got, which doesn't come until August, but whatever, which is perfect because we don't need it any now anyway. So all right guys, I know this video was a lot of talking, but a lot of stuff has happened since then, and this video is extremely helpful for those who want to build a semi-custom home or a custom home or whatever. So we're just sharing our journey, and it's always fun to look back and see like where we're at. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all about building a house or anything, leave a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you guys subscribe and follow our homepage for real-time updates. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.